Hi all, I'm Reinhard Wilmer, Product Manager at Lyrit. I'd like to welcome you to this tutorial where I'll show you how to deploy your web app into the cloud at the speed of light with Next.JS and NoCodeDB. I'd like to first introduce my fellow instructor, Roderick, who's a software engineer at Lyrit. He'll be taking over the technical aspects of this tutorial. So, a little about Lyrit. We're a company that specializes in creating multi-cloud solutions that simplify any company's path to Kubernetes. We remove the complexity from Kubernetes so you can get started and deploy scalable containerized technology into any cloud. So, what's on tap for today's webinar? We'll start by building the skeleton framework needed to create a fully customizable web application that can be used right away. To do that, we're going to learn how to set up a Lyrit client, how to deploy a Next.js application, and how to configure NoCodeDB. And what are those? Well, everything we create will be using the open source web development framework Next.js, the no-code content management system, NoCodeDB, and our very own Kubernetes accelerator, the Lyrit platform, to deploy our new web application into the cloud. This tutorial is designed for any beginner level programmer or developer. And of course, we'll be here to support you throughout the process. Let's start by seeing how easy it is to configure a Lyrit client. We've designed the Lyrit platform to streamline app development by making the Lyrit client as available as possible. Start by accessing our website's documentation page on how to download and configure the Lyrit client. To do this, go to lyrit.io, go to the Learn tab, and press on Documentation. Once you're in the documentation page, navigate to the Getting Started tab and click Installation, where you can download the version of the Lyrit client that is appropriate for your device. For example, I'm using Windows, so I'm going to download the Windows link. And it's going to bring me to the appropriate download folder. So once you have your LC here, then we want to move it to a set folder that you decide to use. Once you've downloaded the Lyrit client, go to wherever you set the download folder to be and navigate into your selected drive to set the LC. In this example, I created a folder on my C drive named Lyrit bin. Drag and drop the Lyrit client into the appropriate folder. And to set up the LC, you need to add the folder into your path name under System Properties. And I'm going to show you how you would do that. So if you're on Windows, you go to Control Panel, go to System, and then go to the Advanced Settings. This is how it's going to look like. Select environment variables, and then try to scroll down to path, press edit, and then you select new, and this is where now you have to make sure that you have the OS path to the folder that you've prepared, and add it to the environment variable path. So click new, copy paste, okay everything. And now, similar to Python, Node.js, and other language frameworks, your LC and its commands are now accessible throughout your system.
Now Reinhardt, allow me to interrupt. Let me demonstrate on how to use the Lyrit clients for our participants with the project demonstration. My name is Roderick, one of the software engineers here at Lyrit. In this portion of the webinar, we would like to demo NoCodeDB, which is a fantastic content management service and can be used for personal projects, small businesses, and can be scaled to as big as you want. NocoDB has many assets which can help rapidly prototype your projects and works greatly in conjunction with our Lyrid platform. Now first we would like to obtain the code from NocoDB's GitHub repository. In this screen, feel free to copy and paste the commands listed inside the Node application section. And of course, if those who are familiar with Docker, feel free to do that too. And now we run the application through npm start, and NocoDB is now running on a local host. Create a super admin account, log in, and create a table. Let's populate it with words. The neat feature of the table is that you may declare the data type of each individual columns, much like any other database libraries out there. So in the create project, we'll name our project webinar demo. And after that, on the left hand side, we'll create a new table and we'll call it demo 1. In the title column, we'll populate it with whatever we would like. In this case, I decided to use We Love NocoDB. So now on the right hand side, we could add another column. In this case, you're able to select what kind of data type you would like for the column to be. In this case, we'll choose a long text and we'll title the column Sentences. Now on the right side of the UI, click on the Get API snippet. It'll bring up an interface which samples the code for different API query methods of your choosing. We'll select the fetch method for our sample project, but keep a close eye on XCauth and the link. So right now we're currently in the JavaScript tab. We're changing our querying method from Axios to fetch. And the really cool thing about this is there's no guessing on how to submit a query. We don't need to really worry about the parameters as it's listed here. The quick thing about XCauth is that by default it only exists for 10 hours. If we would like to get a static token, we would navigate to the bottom left hand corner, click on the API Management tab, and create a token. Your token is now set, and I'll show you later how it will be used. Open up a terminal and create a Lyrid database by inputting lcdb in it. This information is important to set up your hosted NocoDB, but to retrieve it, simply input lcdb list in your terminal to display the database info. Now back to your IDE of choice. Create a YAML file named .lyrid-definition and pause to populate it with these set of information. Once that's done, create an env file and label it .env. Pause the video and copy what's inside the env file, and then bring up your Lyrid database information. Remember the command for the Lyrid database definitions are going to be lcdb list. And now following the formula listed in the env file, populate it based on the Lyrid database definitions. now that we've finished populating the string, we would have to take one more step in order for us to input the password. Lyrit platform itself does encode their password with base64. We would have to use a site or a program to decode it, but I personally use base64 decode just for the sake of simplicity. Pop in your Lyrit password here, decode it, and use that string and put it into where the password location would be inside the string, inside your env file. Save your env file and open up a terminal. Input lc code submit. Side note, you could open up a terminal and input lc monitor -- channel * to monitor any troubleshooting issues you might have when submitting your projects. First thing is, I like to apologize. I have goofed on this one. I tried to lc code submit in the wrong directory. Definitely double check to see if you're in the correct directory, because our Lyrit client, when you installed it, does look for the YAML file based on the folder. Feel free to visit the link of your NocoDB and log in with your credentials set up prior to the upload. The next step is to solve potential CORS issues you might have when querying from NocoDB. Copy the link of your NocoDB site that is hosted, and also in your env file add nc_public_URL and define it with your link site. Resubmit NocoDB via lc code submit. After that, the link within your API code snippet fetch parameters should change. To those feel like something's fishy going on with the upload time, you're absolutely right. With the power of video editing, we have shortened the upload time for the sake of the webinar, and frankly, nobody likes to stare on an upload screen for long. And as mentioned before, the link inside the query parameters are now changed by the link address given by our Lyrit platform. This is a standard Next.js project obtained through Lyrit's deployment. Feel free to use whichever method you like to start a Next.js project, but our platform could easily do it for you. So now that our framework is deployed, you can download your code here, or for future references, navigate to your Next.js Overview tab and on the bottom, download your code. Don't forget to extract the project. Load up the Next.js project with whichever IDE you'd like. Now we're going to test the API queries through the fetch method to our recently uploaded NocoDB. Pause the video to copy and paste this sample code for a quick query. A quote-unquote brief description of what is going on. This page returns the HTML segment which is rendered by our browser, and when the button is clicked, it calls the fetch data callback function, in which it will query through fetch with the preset token credentials to our NocoDB site. On top of that, it will change the Boolean flag of our query state, which will then involve conditional rendering of our quick sample code. Once we have received a response from NocoDB, it will then populate our NocoDB_data state using the setData hook. And with our flag being true, the renderer will then show the title of the JSON objects. To finish this side of the project, head back to NocoDB, copy the API token, and paste it inside your XC token object. Afterwards, obtain your link from the API snippet code and paste it inside your fetch parameters. Once done, go to your terminal, and as a side note, don't forget what I just did. Double check to see if you're in the right directory, and then lc code submit. After submitting, head over to your web page. At each press of the button, the data will be queried from your NocoDB site. Visit your deployed NocoDB, add more data, and your Next.js site will be able to query newer data with each press of the button. This should paint a picture on how this basic set of codes interact with NocoDB. You could imagine larger scale of use case implementations for personal projects or even work. We at Lyrit also use this for a couple of internal tools too, along with upcoming platform features. Speaking of projects, let me showcase the prototype sales tools we have internally developing. There's also a recent update of NocoDB's UI in which this section of the webinar will touch bases on. particularly the shift in positioning of features we need to run this prototype project, such as the API tab and token generator. Let's head to Lyrid's GitHub page and click on the Sales Site Webinar 2022. Clone the repo and navigate your IDE towards the project. As for NoCodeDB, you can continue using the current version. Another method is to reclone or follow NoCodeDB's instructions on the Documents page to update your current version and then LC code submit. For now, I am using the newer version with the updated UI. A brief demo of where the code snippet is now located at. Everything is the same, along with the different tabs of query method we all know and love. The token generator is roughly in the same area. No other changes are made. Now I am creating columns which coincides with the sales site's project queries and how the sales site processed data. Pause whenever you need or to insert whichever data you like, as long as the column is following the correct data type. A quick side note. As you may have seen earlier, NoCodeDB does have the ability to store images and files. However, it requires external storage attachments such as Minio, S3, GSC, etc. We at Lyrid can also manage the storage data attachments if needed. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to discuss more about your inquiries. Now, this table is currently finished populating with the correct columns of data types. Duplicate these columns onto the rest of the tables and then populate them with the data shown on the screen. If you do want to populate with your own information, feel free to do so. For a brief reference for setting up the tables and each column's data type starting from the left to right. The first column will be ID, which is predefined. Second column will be titled the name of your product and will be single line text. Third column will be titled price and we will choose the number data type. Fourth column will be titled time_duration and it is single line text. Fifth column is titled secondary_column and is a single line text. Sixth column is titled description and is a long text data type. Now that the table is set up, head back to your sales site webinar repo within your IDE. Within the Pages folder, navigate to index.js. Inside the Get Server-Side Prompts function, fill in your token and the fetch parameters from your NoCodeDB site as mentioned before. Each table has their own respective link pointed at their own location. Save the file and now we could LC code submit our sales site. This is the prototype example of a pricing calculator. All of these information are queried and displayed through calling our hosted NoCodeDB inside our Lyrid platform. Much like the example we've worked on, all information is dynamic and will repopulate the page when queried. Another demonstration is our upcoming release of our Lyrid hosting platform. All of the current information is queried and live displayed. As stated before, the hosted NoCodeDB can be resized from minor projects to large-scale production. So that's all I have for now in this portion of the webinar. I do hope you enjoy our presentation and watching how our platform works. Again, I'm Roderick, and I hope you guys have a good time using our platform, and back to you, Reinhardt.
And there you have it. You now have a functioning skeleton for your Next.JS and NoCodeDB project. A strong foundation you can customize to your team needs or upload to GitHub as part of your profile. If you have any questions, make sure you join our Discord channel. Tweet us at Lyrid Inc. on Twitter. Go to our website to register, to start coding, developing, deploying, build cool products, and we're super excited to see the projects that comes out of this tutorial. And if you are a part of a company, and you're interested in Kubernetes, make sure to book a meeting with our team where we'll give you a demo, maybe learn a bit more about Lyrid, and where we can provide one-on-one help for companies that wants to transition to Kubernetes. Thank you all so much for this opportunity, taking part in this tutorial today, and I hope to see you coding and developing with Lyrid.